Welcome back to Conversations with Manny. Today, let's talk about the fear of judgment and the power of embracing our authentic selves, or better yet, not worrying about what they will say. We all have moments when we find ourselves acting not out of our true desires, but out of a fear of what others might think. I know I've been there, and I bet you have as well. So, let's explore how liberating it can be to step away from that fear and embrace who you really are, even if it means facing rejection and ridicule. Let's begin by exploring the weight of expectations that many of us we carry. Now, I want you to picture yourself. Picture yourself as a beautiful, majestic ship, right? It's sailing on the open sea. The ocean represents your journey, filled with potential and opportunities. Now, imagine that every time you feel pressure to conform to someone else's expectation, you attach an anchor to your ship. At first, it might seem harmless. But as you add more and more and more anchors, each one representing the judgments, the demands, or fears of others, the ship begins to slow down. Eventually, you find yourself struggling to move forward. You're stuck in place while the vast ocean of possibilities surrounds you. Now, I want you to think of moments in your life, right, when you felt this way. Maybe it was during a family gathering where the pressure to pursue a certain career felt overwhelming. Or perhaps it was in school where you held back your true thoughts and ideas to avoid standing out. When we prioritize others' opinions over our own desires, we end up anchoring ourselves in a stagnant state. It's as if we're meant to sail freely, but instead we find ourselves drifting aimlessly, held back by the weight of those anchors. Now, I want you to take a moment to reflect. What are some expectations you feel pressured by? Are they from family, from friends, society, or even yourself? Imagine if you could start removing those anchors and do it one by one. What if you could lighten your load and let your ship sail freely across the ocean? Now, consider how liberating it would feel to untether yourself from the weight of those expectations, allowing you to navigate your own course. The freedom to be yourself is a journey worth embarking on, even if it means facing some turbulent waters along the way. Now, let's talk about the consequences of constantly seeking validation. When we make decisions solely to please others, we may find ourselves acting in ways that compromise our mental well being. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It doesn't work. You might find yourself feeling stressed, anxious, or even reluctant to engage in activities that once brought you joy. Now, picture a bird in a cage, sharpened beautifully but longing to fly. The cage represents a constraint we allow others to impose on us. Now, the truth is, this kind of behavior can lead to a sense of emptiness, as we're not living our truth, but rather someone else's version of us. To find genuine happiness, we need to cultivate self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-appreciation. Now, I want you to notice the key word there, self. When we truly understand who we are, our happiness becomes independent of other people's opinion. Now, think back to a moment when you felt completely at ease with yourself. What were you doing? Who were you with? Let those feelings guide you back to your authentic self. So, how do we start this journey? Well, one way is by establishing our own definitions of right and wrong. What are your values? What are your principles? When we align our choices and habits with what truly matters to us, we empower ourselves to live authentically. Now, let's say you decide to start a new business. In your social circle, you might be known as the Uber driver. Well, there could be pressure to stick to that label. But if you choose to pursue your entrepreneurial dreams, that's your choice. It reflects your priorities and values. And even if it means stepping away from the norm, in my opinion, that's true bravery. Ask yourself, what do you value most in life? Is it freedom? Is it creativity? Is it connection? Write it down. Create a list of your top 3 values and consider how you can align your daily actions with those values. Now, let's connect this to a book, right? To the book called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Specifically, the first agreement, be impeccable with your word. Now, this principle, it highlights the significance of language and communication in shaping our reality. Being impeccable with your word means speaking truthfully and with intention, not only to others, but to yourself. It's about aligning what you say with your values and belief. Think of it as a bridge that connects your inner world with the outside. When you communicate with integrity, again, you create this trust in your relationship, both with others and with yourself. Consider this. How often do we say things out of habit or to please others without considering whether we truly mean them? Let's go ahead and break that cycle. Another crucial aspect is positive self-talk. How often do we catch ourselves saying hurtful things to ourselves? Negative self-talk can be damaging, and it can really perpetuate feelings of inadequacy. Instead, let's practice positive affirmations. Treat yourself with kindness and respect in your internal dialogue. This is how we reinforce our self-acceptance and our authenticity. Imagine you're a gardener, right? And your mind is the garden. What you plant there will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt and negativity, that's what will flourish, right? But if you plant seeds of love, of acceptance, and positivity, you'll see a garden full of beautiful blooms. Now, let's take a moment together. Think of one positive affirmation you can tell yourself daily. It could be as simple as saying, I am enough, or I deserve to follow my dreams. Write it down and say it out loud. When we communicate with integrity, we build stronger, more authentic connections with others. Clear and honest communication, it creates that mutual respect and understanding. It's like creating a tapestry where every thread is woven with trust and authenticity. In addition, the words we choose shape our experience and perceptions. By being mindful of our language, we can create a more positive and empowering narrative for our lives. This principle encourages us to take responsibility for our words and recognize their impact on our reality. Now, think about a time when your words changed someone's day for the better. That's the power of language. Use that power to uplift yourself and others. So let's commit to training our minds to live life according to our own standard, free from the constraints of social pressure. It's time to really shift our focus away from seeking approval, public approval, and embracing our authentic self, who we truly are, and most importantly, who we're becoming. Now, as we close today, I challenge you to take one small step towards embracing your authenticity this week. Share it in the comments below. What's one thing you'll do for yourself that aligns with your true values? Thank you for joining me today. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe for more content. Let's continue this journey together, supporting one another and living authentically. Until next time, keep shining your light.